Hello, good morning, wherever you are watching. This is the final take with me, Seni MK Marina, live in our virtual studios here in Seattle, Washington. We have a special guest, Professor Per Gomez, who is the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science, and Technology. He is speaking to me live from Banjul. We're going to discuss about the state of higher education, achievements and challenges in the higher education sector. We will take a quick break, and when we're back, we will introduce Professor Gomez in this show. Stay tuned.
Tune into the final take with MK Mariner every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.
Anyway, welcome back to the final take with Seni Maria. We have education, science, research and technology, Professor Per Gomez, who is not a stranger in the higher education industry in the Gambia. Professor Gomez, welcome to the final take with me, Seni Marina.
Thank you very much, Brother Seni. Thank you for having me, and happy to be back. And thank you also for the good job that you are doing in the service of
after a year.
Yes, exactly. But it's good to be back. And bravo to the good work that they are doing, and very, very happy.
Yeah, and thank you very much.
Proud. Yes, very proud to see Gambians coming up with initiatives and also trying to promote Gambian, something Gambian, promoting Gambian is very, very important, very fundamental. Just some weeks after celebrating 61st anniversary, independence anniversary, it is important for us to emphasize on that. And when I see such, it's good as Gambian to celebrate that, and want to encourage you to keep it up, keep the fire burning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Before we enter this interview proper, for those tuning in to the final take this Saturday, live from our virtual studios, our guest is Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Professor Per Gomez, who is joining us live from Banjul. Professor Gomez, could you say a little bit about your journey from academic, where you serve as Deputy Vice Chancellor, to becoming the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology? What inspired you to take up this national leadership role and responsibility?
Yeah, thank you. I feel honored. I feel proud among many Gambians to be chosen to lead this ministry. It's a privilege. It's an honor to come forward and be given that delegated authority to serve the Republic within the higher education ecosystem. This is my area. This is where I have the passion. I never had the opportunity to work elsewhere apart from higher education. I work in here in the Gambia in two different main academic institutions, the then Gambia College, now University of Education, the Gambia, and the University of the Gambia. And at the University of Gambia, I rose through the ranks. Roughly all the major positions at the university, I occupied all of them. So joining through the ranks and as lecturer one, senior lecturer to associate professor and full professor, and then also being a head of department, then dean of the School of Arts and Sciences. Was a time it was the biggest school, and for 10 good years, managing two main divisions, the humanities and social sciences, and also the physical and natural sciences, the maths and the physics, and so on. All those people, other my school for 10 good years, and were having very good relationship with the staff and students at that time, and been recognized on 3 consecutive times as the best dean of the year. And then also moving on to become the deputy vice chancellor academic, and then later acting vice chancellor. And then before I am now appointed as Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. It's a great, decision for me. I'm very, very happy. And that's the reason why you see me moving left, right, and center, because it's a passion. And I can continue walking up to midnight with
absolutely.
it, because I'm in my area. So that's it. So I feel very happy. But then I see it as a responsibility. Others are called. For me, I see a call. And for a long time, we read Fanon. And then he reminded us that we must fulfill the mission and we must not betray the mission. For a long time, we read Nkrumah, and Nkrumah in the early 60s. What I'm doing now, Nkrumah, if you go back to his works, talked about the engineering programs, the Tibet programs that we are working on, and so on and so forth. The empowering, and in fact, empowering the youths of Africa. So in essence, and beyond that, also, we read Edward Francis Small talking about the emergence of a new citizenry, ready to signpost their independent trajectory, developing this nation. And, Small came out to help people to read and write so that they can now take charge of their destiny. Because once you know how to read and write, once you have
absolutely
education, you will never be the same again. That's the belief of Edward Francis Small. We are children of Small. We are from the Gambia, this great nation called the Gambia. So when we are here now, it's a big responsibility. So we are out there now as laborers of the Republic, laborers of the Republic. And that we must fulfill the mission. And that's why with passion, we will all respond. And whenever MK calls an interview on tertiary and higher education, we must stop everything and respond. But it's for a just call. So fire your questions.
Absolutely. Prof,
I question you want to ask on tertiary and higher education.
Okay, son. Okay. Prof, I definitely appreciate you coming in, because I was talking to one of my editors and I told him I'm having Professor Gomez today. He was like, but Prof seems to be the only state minister that appear on the final take. I say, yes, he's among. Whenever I call him, when he is not busy, he will always respond to my calls and messages. And that is what we expect from public servants like a state minister. Thank you for that consideration. Prof, your background has positioned you for this great task. You work at the University of the Gambia. You know the challenges students face. You know what the administrative staff face, and you know what is actually happening in the tertiary education. So that has positioned you for this job, which you are doing, at the best of your ability. So my next question is, following the recent transformation of the Gambia College into University of the Gambia, this and the substantial increase in university and tertiary places reported in 2000. Could you please provide an update on the current state of higher education in our country, including progress on quality assurance, infrastructure development, access for Gambian youth, and the alignment with the national development priorities?
Well, thank you very much. And starting from the former Gambia College, because as you know, Gambia College is no longer in our books. What is in our books is University of Education, the Gambia. Now, we've transformed it, and then now they have a vice chancellor, Professor Mohamed Adamu, who is leading the university. The former vice principal is now the chief director of operations. And then you also have a deputy vice chancellor academic. The registrar is the same. And, so him and others were sent to Nigeria to 2 different universities for training on registrar matters. So the ministry sponsored that trip for all the registrars of our public universities, so that they have the hands-on experience from 2 different universities on how to manage, run the office of a registrar in a university. So plans are underway to, by the way, we've also, as per the transformation agenda, we've roughly close to 10 of them, send them to Nigeria, paying them to go for their PhDs from the then Gambia College. Because now they are upgraded into university, though the staff also needs to be upgraded. Some, as I said, are in Nigeria now. We are the one paying their tuition fees and also their stipend. Also, we are having some in other countries based on our bilaterals. I just want to mention China, for instance, among others. There are other countries that even Japan, some of them are there. So we are the one sponsoring them. So we, together with other staff of the University of the Gambia, we are the one paying them. Currently, we are paying just for their tuition fees over $5 million per annum. And then each of these lecturers, we are giving them $850 per month. Okay, so this is unprecedented. Wow. We are not getting any support from anybody. This is from the little that we receive from the Minister of Finance, and there's nothing additional. It's the same amount that we've been using before. But we believe that human capital is key. We cannot talk about transformation without also upgrading our people, our staff, sending them for higher level training at doctoral level. So this is what we are doing. But for the then Gambia College, now University of Education, the Gambia, UEG, plans are underway to do 2 or 3 things starting from this year. That is, one, to renovate the current structures that we have up to the quadrangle and the Bajong Koto, for those who are familiar with the Brikama campus, and then also some other areas that are that have issues. So we renovate, and then now the second phase is to build just right opposite the land that is right opposite USET. We now built new faculties for the degree programs, the University of Education, the Gambia, and they also built new dormitories. We've already built through MRC Holland Foundation and Brighter Future, new dormitories, and they will be operational very soon. Renovated the current, the former one, and build new ones, and to have them operational very soon. And among other issues, and then also try to see how to invest a little bit on the infrastructure, on their labs, and so on. So these are some of the things that we'll be doing, and we are engaging development partners to continue doing that. Now to CSU, the Civil Service University, MDI, so former MDI, that one will be, they are also coming up with new degree programs. Very soon, this year, you will hear them starting, for instance, professional degrees on, let's say, international relations and diplomacy, to be training our diplomats. And then also they will be running, out some other programs, professional programs, to help address some of the gaps within the civil service. So they'll be doing that. And then for them also, currently the Faculty of Law, they are moving to Faraba, Banta campus. The School of Journalism also to Faraba. And so those buildings will be handed over. They will take them over very soon, and we're going to renovate that and with them, so that they will now use it for their new programs that they are coming up with. Then the Peace Building, where the UTG admin is, after Ramadan, so they too will start parking, to God willing, to move to Faraba, because the final touches and the equipment for their building, the Chancery building, would have been completely equipped, ready, so that for them to move to that place. And that building becomes now the Peace Building at MDI Road, to become now the Chancery building for the Civil Service University. We will have to renovate it together with them, so they will use that. So this is plan, and they will come up with new programs. Okay. But then also,
Prof.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, Prof. Critics will argue that you have a very ambitious higher education blueprint for the Gambia, because 5 years ago we only have one university. That's the University of the Gambia, where yourself lecture for many decades. And now that we have at least 2-3 public universities, they might say the Gambia right now might lack capacity to fully run these public universities, because running a university, involve a lot of resources and also a lot of work to be done. Is your ministry in position to run these universities effectively with the resource constraint that the UTG and other tertiary institutions are facing? Yeah.
So MK, it is true, the all over for universities, the money is given to them will never be enough. So if you ask me, I'll tell you they need more. All our universities, they need more money, and so on and so forth. But then one of the reasons why we went to school is to ensure that whenever we have challenges, for us not to go to the Bantaba and be complaining, but then to invoke plan B and be able to now come up with solutions. And that's what we've been doing. When we came in, we were told that Faraba was impossible. But today it is history. Remember in those days when we came out, we said the road to Faraba was irreversible. It's irreversible. And finally, here we are. Finally, it's now a tourist destination where people come over and then visit that place, and everybody enjoy the place. It's now a serene academic environment where people come to learn and study. So this is the same thing that we will be doing for the other issues. Remember also when we started with, you said, when we started with, sorry, somebody was knocking, so I'm telling them to go behind. So when we started with, you said, people were saying that it's not possible, that we will not be able to get the funds because engineering is very expensive. But look at it now. Not only we're able to run now 3 engineering programs for the first time in the history of the Gambia after 61 years. So to have an engineering program in that is mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and electrical engineering. for the first time. How can you develop as a country without these programs, without training your own people in this? You know, MK, you and I, we are taking loans as a government, you know, loans and getting grants in millions of dollars. But when the money comes, because we don't have the reservoir to absorb these funds, to have the people, the qualified people to do that job, we ended up now recruiting non-Gambians. By the way, I have nothing against non-Gambians. So my university education, I got training outside. But I strongly believe that no country has developed without their own people. So therefore, there's need to really train our people so that when we get these grants in millions of dollars, when we get these loans, we pay to our own people, our own brothers and sisters with their companies. The money stays here in our banks. Because we have enough resources, the interest rate will go low, will go down. This is how development, and it creates more opportunities for our brothers and sisters. It will now address indirectly the Bagwe syndrome. You know, so this is sustainable development. And then now, we able to not only graduate the first cohort last year in June, and this year also, God willing, around June, we'll have the graduation of the second cohort in 3 engineering programs. Obviously, with the other Tibet program, we'll have them graduate. But then also, we're going to have, we've developed a proposal already for the second phase of Tibet, where we will be talking about computer engineering. Now the world is into the technology. Here we are, you are in the US, I'm here in the Gambia, we are talking, you know, as if you are in front of me. You are using technology. This is the work of today and tomorrow. We need to prepare our people for what is coming tomorrow. And AI. So the computer engineering will address the AI issue. We'll be training people here, specialists in AI, in cybersecurity. You see, we don't have specialists here in those areas up to that level. So we need to be prepared as a country to avoid depending on borrowed labor. There's no country that develops when you depend on external laborers and so on. So this is one of these options, and also architecture and design. You know, the then GTTI was known for the certificate and diploma. But all those things. So now, by the way, for your info, we've developed a proposal. We do not wait for anybody, and we share it with our partners, especially the World Bank, and they've agreed. Just last week, we had a meeting with them. They've agreed in principle to see how they can intervene for the second phase. This is what the Gambia needs. And God willing, by the end of the year, you know, we will be able to also get another project that will help us now run down another engineering program. Then the youth of this country who needs this type of training with state-of-the-art equipment in this area will sit in their own backyards and get that training, not having to go outside the Gambia. These are the opportunities. And when they get the skill sets, some of them will start their own jobs because some of them will not even want to go to the government system to be employed because they will create their own job. We have some of our students now. There was one who is later Stanford. He's now in Spain. They just absorbed him. He was in computer science. He did computer science. You know, he's gone to, they took him here and he's working there in a company. So these are some of the issues that we are talking about. When you are good, people will come.
Absolutely. Prof, not to, Okay. Not to cut you short, but Prof, you highlighted that no country can develop without science technology, especially in STEM, and that's quite obvious because even America here and advanced countries, while they are advanced, is because they invested a lot in those science technology areas, the STEM. So recently, your ministry has been actively promoting workforce-ready graduate through initiatives like a THET fund forum and alignment with the national development. Can you explain these efforts preparing Gambian students for modern job market? And also recently, one of your UTG students came up with My Exam, a app that he developed where you can have real-time notification not to miss your exam classes. Are you looking into helping some of these innovators, because this is very impressive, from a student from the University of the Gambia. His name is Ibrahim Mbai. We featured him a couple of days ago. He developed an app called My Exam Mate, where you can have real-time updates on your phone, by knowing that you have exams, you have classes, and so how important are you without this?
Well, thank you very much, MK. I just want to use the opportunity to congratulate Ibrahim Mbai. And this is a clear demonstration that our graduates can excel. They can do better. They just need to be encouraged to be in a conducive learning environment. And once they have that, yeah, that will be really extraordinary. This is in line with, remember during COVID, some of the staff I was working with to run the online lectures. Some of them were UTG graduates, some just with BSc, others with masters, nothing extraordinary. Okay. But we were able to do that within 3 months to run the online lectures and so on and so forth. So Ibrahim Mbai is following that tradition of people that are ready within homegrown, ready to champion, STEM and demonstrate that they are ready for that rendezvous. And we encourage all of them to do that. The other issue that you talk about, the TED Fund, the Tertiary Higher Education Trust Fund, it falls under the tripartite funds that we now launch, thanks to the vision of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, President of the Republic, because we have. Some 4 years ago, roughly, when we came in, the first document that we developed was the tertiary higher. It was sustainable financing of higher education. So that gives us an idea. In that document, it gives you a clear overview of how tertiary and higher education is financed globally. The different strategies used by developed countries and so on and so forth, America, UK, and you name it. Then also we narrow it down to also how tertiary and higher education is, financed in the sub-region within ECOWAS. Taking the case of Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, and others to see how the strategies they're using and so on. Then now we narrow it to our country, the Gambia, how we are financing it. Then based on that, we now look at the best options. And we came up with different strategies. And the tripartite funds that you heard and see now working on, that we are working on, part of that main document. That was our first strategic move, sustainable financing of higher education. And there now we talk about the TED Fund. So the TED Fund is the Tertiary Higher Education Trust Fund. Now it's headed by Dr. Jojodu Tambedu, and the chairman of the board of directors is Mohamed Jah of Q Group. And by the way, he was very generous enough when we were launching the tripartite funds. He offered us $15 million. The first
Mohamed Jah.
Yes, to do that. $5 million for each of the funds. So we will use the opportunity to thank him, and we call on all the other business partners to follow suit and imitate Mohamed Jah and give back to their country, give back to the Gambia, and for the development of the youth. So the TED Fund that just last week, we had, or early this week, we have some engagement with, yes.
with Are you there, Prof?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes? Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes, yes, I can hear
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yeah, Prof. We have seen that you launch a lot of these funds appointing Gambians from different backgrounds. To come somewhere in the US, somewhere elsewhere in the UK, to join your development drive. To elevate the higher education. Tell us more about these funds that the Ministry of Higher Education created and appointed Gambians, competent Gambians to help you drive that goal. Tell us more about these funds. There is also student revolving fund. What does this entail?
Yeah, so yeah, that's me. You have the tertiary and higher education trust fund. This fund, as I said, led by Dr. Jojo Nutambedu and as executive director, and then also with a very solid, young, talented boys and girls. Let me put it that way. And then also their board of directors and led by Mohamed Jah. So this fund, the third fund, is to support the universities and TVET centers in their infrastructure. It's very competitive. They will have to submit proposals. There will be call where people have to write proposals and submit, and with everything budgeted. So they want to do X, Y, and Z, and like they want to build a lab, or they want to buy some equipment, or they want to do a particular activity to respond, let's say, on their curriculum, or they want to build a hall, some classrooms, some some infrastructural development, or they want to buy some IT equipment, and so on and so forth. They write a strong proposal with strong justification, and then the third one is here now to support them. So to support the tertiary and higher education institution. So government will be putting some funds, but then also it's open to the private sector, it's open to philanthropists also to come on board and also put something in the basket. So that's one of the strategies. You also have the student revolving loan scheme. That one is headed by the executive director is Dr. Samba Ba from Ohio University in the U.S. Samba was my student. He was my colleague at the university, and he left for the U.S. and working there. But then this is an opportunity for us to respond to the national call. The Republic is the one calling of our citizens to come and accept to be laborers to build this nation, a better Gambia, for a better tomorrow. Come up with alternatives. And we are very happy that we have the confidence of stakeholders and for Gambians out there in the US, in the UK, to accept this call and come to get less than what they are getting in America or in the UK, and to serve their motherland. This is the highest level of patriotism, and that's what we are doing, trying to call wherever. Because at the end of the day, just for your info, we are tapping from even Gambians in the diaspora, even those who are not coming, but we do have we have an advisory board, higher education advisory board composed of Gambian scholars in the diaspora, Gambian professionals also in the diaspora. So whenever we develop something, we share it with them to hear from them. And these are intellectuals and professionals. They will not tell you what you want to hear. They will now critique the document. So for us, when we pass that test, we know that we are good to go. And that's what we've been doing. So you also have, the student revolving loan scheme will give the opportunity to the students, in addition to the scholarship that we normally give. This loan scheme now, we now help those who do not get scholarships. And then because we're going to reduce the number of scholarships and be doing more of loan scheme. And then now they will have to receive the funds, and then when they complete, they are given maybe 1 year And then after, there will be a criteria very in the coming months that the Dr. Samba and his team will share. Then, you'll be given a grace period, maybe 1 month, 1 year rather, and then after that you start paying small, and that will be used to government will add something, and we use that to give it to our brothers and sisters who are also joining the queue. So these are some of the things, and then later we'll be having that's why we call it revolving, because as opposed to the scholarship we pay in millions, but nothing comes back. Whereas the loan scheme, yes, we'll pay millions, but then people will be paying. Obviously, when we start this year, nobody should expect payment to really start coming before 4 years, because the degree program will end in 4 years' time for a majority of them. Very few will finish earlier than the 4 years. So it means for the next 4 years, we'll be spending. Okay, so government and other stakeholders will be now putting money to be supporting these people. But later on, when some of us are no longer at the ministry, when the MKs come back as minister of higher education, they will take over, and then for them, they will not be, they will notice that people have started paying. They just need to do the follow-up so that these people can pay, and they get that money to.
So it's a kind of a long-term investment for you guys. So, it will not
and then you have
come automatically, but with time it will investment for you, Prof. Prof, that's a very interesting.
Go ahead. I wanted to
that's
talk about
a very
the National Research and Innovation Fund. That's
the groundwork.
Yeah, National Research and Innovation Fund. That is
okay.
Now,
go ahead. Explain.
Yes, headed by Professor Momodou Salah from Devonford University, Leicester, in the UK. Though he came and was working for the Rice Project, the World Bank Rice Project, with the Minister of Finance. But we now gave him, he's an academic, a professor. So, to head the National Research and Innovation Fund. This is also a competitive fund that is out there to support academia in both the universities and the TVET centers for research and innovation. Because a country that does not do research and innovation is a dead country. You need to allow, for instance, you talked about buy earlier on. That's innovation. So we need more buys and orders. So this is what we will be doing. So this fund is there to be supporting people like Ibrahima who have something, and they write their proposal, and if they meet the requirement, so the fund, Professor Momodou Salah and others with his team will really support them and with funds so that they can do more and also harness whatever they are doing. So this is all these three I talked about. MK, we never had them since independence.
Before. Absolutely.
And
it's 61 years, and it's 61 years since independence.
But here we are now with these TED fund. We are coming up with new ones. In 2026, we roll it out. But so far, this is what we're able to do currently in 2025.
But Prof, Prof, concerns have also been raised that a lot of highly qualified Gambians left their highly paid jobs in America, Europe to come back home, and most of these qualified Gambians are in the academics, but they seems not to be given the opportunity to also contribute. Is there any plans to tap on the competence of these Gambian professors? We have seen Gambian professors who came back some time back to help higher education in the country. But as we speak now, some of them are still in the country. They are not engaged. Is the ministry having plans to tap into the experience of these retired professors? Because we have seen a lot of public universities, and some of these universities are headed by foreigners. Although we have seen that the funds that you created, all the executive directors are Gambians, but there is still a lot of Gambians out there who are willing to contribute to higher education. What's your plans for this cohort of Gambians, professors and academics?
Yeah, as I told you, my ministry has a committee, what we call a higher education advisory committee. In that committee, you have Gambian professors and professionals in the diaspora working with the ministry as advisors. They are the one reviewing our document. They are the one suggesting some other issues here and there. And we listen to them, and then we now roll out. So whenever we come up with an idea, a document, before we bring it to the notice of the general public, we normally share it with these Gambian professors in the diaspora and Gambian professionals. Some are here in the Gambia, some are outside. We do share it with them to critique it, and then we work with them. That's one. And most of them, I want to salute them because they do it pro bono. By the way, you also have retired World Bank managers who are also working with us. We also have senior researchers in the UK, for instance, in top-notch universities, and working with us. So among others, and professors in America and other places, all in that committee, working with us, and professionals. So we are doing that. Also, for the Gambia, there are two issues there. We have our public universities. We also have private universities. So others, nothing stops anybody also from applying to, because you need to also apply. It's two ways. Either the university come to you or you come to the university. So there are public universities, there are private universities. People can also apply depending on your competence and your area, and then you see what to do. And there are different options. Option one, you can come as a full-time. Option two, you can come as a part-time. You see, and then also you can be working with them on the research supervision, and so on and so forth. All these things are there, or thesis, whatever, and so on and so forth. So these are different possibilities that we can work on. The other thing also is that we want to clarify. You see, people tend to also say, oh, we have foreign vice chancellors and so on and so forth. And
vice chancellor,
out there, well, you need to hire them. By the way, well, we are yet to get somebody who wants to come forward to say he wants to do it for free. For your information, apart from UTG, there's who is a Gambian, there's no vice chancellor currently who is being paid salary by the Gambia government or by their university. These
so who are bankroll, who are paying the salaries of these vice
Nigerian
chancellors
government,
apart from the university? Oh wow! So it's part of Nigeria Technical Corporation.
Exactly. The arrangement is I engage the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, in Abuja, and because I had good rapport with them during my University of the Gambia days. So when I became minister, I tried to engage them to extend the same thing that they are doing with UTG. Now to help us with some professors. You take the case of USEP, University of Applied Science Engineering, which started it, but then university, there's a prerequisite. You cannot start university without professors. Yes, people told us that you don't have the money to get the professors and so on and so forth. So the strategy is, we understand that it's very expensive. Vice chancellors and professors in these areas are very expensive. So, and you cannot tell the Gambian come and work for free. So he will want to get any vice chancellor, Gambian vice chancellor you want to take to USEP or to UEG, he will want you to pay the same salary that you are paying UTG vice chancellor. And it's very high. It's very high. So, and you cannot afford that. because of all these things. So what we've done is we engage Nigeria. Say we want to have a pool of senior academics, but we don't have the funds. Can you send us your professors to come and work with us and coach our people? And then also while we send our people for training, okay? So we for PhD, and some of them, when they come back, they'll be groomed by these professors. And then now in that situation, you will help us pay their salaries. So the arrangement is Nigeria that is paying them. Some of them, they receive over $2,000, close to $3,000 per month. We cannot afford that in the Gambia, as all the professors. So they sent us. For
it's expensive.
Yes, they sent us 18 professors in engineering. For the first time in the history of the Gambia, we have a conglomerate of 18 professors in engineering. That's not. That is something very rare, and we have to value that. And we are not paying their salaries. The only thing we do is to pay to take care of their accommodation and their local transport. That's the only thing. We don't pay them any salary. So it's Nigeria that is paying their salary. So now they come for 2 years. There's a possibility of extension, but then their idea is after 2 years, a good number of them must go back. Then they send another batch. Okay, so that's the arrangement. So, but then Nigeria will be the one paying their salaries.
But the government is not paying.
No. The Gambia government is not paying them salaries. And
so what contribution is the government doing for these professors? You talk about 16, 18 professors in that area who are currently in the country, which is unprecedented. So what kind of support is the government through your ministry providing to these professors from Nigeria?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We only provide accommodation and local transport, period. Nothing else. That's the only thing, because their salaries are completely paid by Nigeria, and they receive from Nigerian government in dollars minimum, depending on their rank, depending on their rank and their experience. So nothing less than $2,000, and some are receiving $3,000. And then also during holidays, Nigerian government will pay them allowance. That is an allowance also, so that they can use that, a bonus for holidays, and then for them to go to Nigeria on holidays and so on. So they have that package. We are not the one buying their tickets. We are not the one giving them that bonus, holiday bonus. It's Nigerian government that is paying all that. So. And in the meantime, we now send our people to other places for training, like in Nigeria, like in Ghana. A good number of, for instance, a good number of them have started coming back from Ghana, from Kwame Nkrumah University, Science and Technology. Engineering. Most of them PhD in engineering. So these are the people who were there because we trained them at master's level. When they finish, we now train them, pay for them at PhD level. Currently, there's another team that is still there in Ghana at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We are paying for them. And by the end of the year, a good number of them, probably all of them would have completed. Right now, we have some who are already back since last year, and they are working with us in that regard. And in the UEG, University of Education, the Gambia, we got 5 of them. It's Nigeria that is paying their salaries, like the Vice Chancellor and others. We just pay, take care of their accommodation and also their local transport. That's all. So this is one way. And now that is giving us the opportunity for us to buy time, for us to train our people gradually, so that those that we met at first degree level to get their masters, and then later to get their PhD, to now get the experience, to get more publications, and so on and so forth, and then now be able to later take over very smoothly so that there's a succession plan. Okay, they would have Gambians trained. The one that have come back now, some of them have already occupying key positions as heads of departments. These are the people who will later rise, now become the deans, the deputy vice chancellors, and the vice chancellor. And then now government, and together with these universities, would have taken their time to do a proper planning so that they later now hire a vice chancellor and then they can pay that person. You see, right now you pay somebody and you cannot, come up with that salary. You hire somebody and then you cannot pay him. It's going to be problematic.
Yeah.
Already without the paying the salaries of the vice chancellor and all these professors, some of these universities are struggling to pay their salaries. So imagine now if we are to pay the vice chancellors and the professors that we are having, they will be problematic. They would have been into trouble. So that's why we want to be very strategic, gradually and in a very smooth manner, being in charge, controlling the financial resources, so that we know at a particular time we would have seen the trend that yes, financially we are good to go. Financially we will be able to get this one. Financially we will be able to now have a Gambian to occupy this without any major problem. If you don't do that, if you don't do your homework, then now these people go and then you cannot pay and it becomes problematic.
Yeah, the system will be having
most of them are coming to Mohas for their rescue to pay salaries every month, even after the subvention. They come to us because they have challenges and so on. And despite the fact that they are not paying all these professors and the vice chancellors, imagine if they have to pay that, what is going to be? There will be fire on the mountain. So you must demonstrate beyond reasonable doubt.
Absolutely.
You can't do it. Yes. So right now,
I agree.
Very strategic. When we have the funds, then we start doing that. And for it to be sustainable, because you cannot hire somebody, you pay him 1 month, 2 months, and then the rest of the months you cannot pay. Then there's a problem. So you'll be able to do your homework gradually and address that. And the ministry is working towards that. Very soon, we are also going to send a paper to paper for cabinet to help to see how West government will now take over the basic salaries of all our staff in our universities. And then so that the universities will be paying only the allowances. So this is the model that we are trying to do as one of the strategies also. So we are working on many things, and gradually that is going to help to restore financial balance.
Prof, thank you very much. I know you are a lecturer and I'm a journalist, so if I allowed you to talk, you will be here for another 2 hours. But I'm glad that these important issues are coming up, and then you are given an opportunity to address them. A lot of people will be saying Prof is the right man at the right place because he's always on the move, which is very commendable. Prof, during your recent nationwide tour of technical and vocational education and training centers, TVEC, what key insight did you gain about the state of vocational education in the Gambia, and how are you addressing any gap identified? Because we have seen a lot of vocational training centers across the country, and this fall under your ministry.
Yeah, thank you very much. Under the Directive of His Excellency President Adam Barrow, my ministry, Mohas, is mandated now to ensure that we have regional Tibet centers. And that's why we ensure that for the first time, our Tibet center in Denman is operational in the Fojis. There's in Denman. The other one, our Tibet center in Kanilai is operational. And in all these Tibet centers, we have dormitories for the students and so on and so forth. So we are expanding also so that even the staff and both junior and senior staff also are taken care of. So these are some of the things that we are working on. And then obviously in Masakonko, we are enhancing whatever we are doing there. And we have a very good building for two buildings for dormitories also in Mansakonko, and doing good job there also. Then we are renovating very soon in the coming months, maybe in 2 months' time maximum. We will be inaugurating the Julangel Tibet Center and in Basse in URR. So that's also something that is very, very important for us. And as you know, we are building 2 new Tibet centers in CRR North and South. So in CRR North around Kuntaur N, we have a multi-purpose Tibet center. It's roughly ready. The academic blocks are ready. It's only the senior staff quarters that are pending. The dormitories are ready, and also the final touches for the labs and also the workshops. For instance, the one for tailoring, the one for welding and fabrication, the one for electrical and all those things. So doing just the final touches there. But it's roughly in the coming 2-3 months, everything will be done there, and we'll be inaugurating it before the rainy season, God willing. That is in CRR North. Then in CRR South, work is in progress, and God willing, before the end of the year, that is in Pachar. So that one is as opposed to the one in CRR North, the one in CRR South in Pachar is going to be exclusively on agribusiness. The one in the North is multi-purpose, different programs, horticulture, plumbing, electrical, welding and fabrication, tailoring, and all those things. So that one will be multi-purpose. But in CRR, it will be, specifically on agribusiness. As you know, MK, CRR is the bread basket. We grew up being told that is the bread basket.
Yeah.
You have fresh water around that end. So what can we do to ensure that we maximally train our people?
I'm from CRR.
I will send you the bill.
I'm from Kudan, so even my
you must pay. You must pay. I will send you the bill. So
okay.
we've been told that you guys, your area is the bread basket of this country, and for a long time we waited to see the human capital, coming out from that area to really to serve as the technicians and technocrats in these specialized areas. We waited for a long time, MK, and we cannot continue waiting. Now is the time to produce that human resources, and so that we will also, and that's the reason why we chose that area to far from the greater Banjul area, so that it is hands-on, right in the plantations, right, in the farms. You do your practical. That's the lab. It's not office agriculture. You be doing agriculture until you graduate. You've never been into a farm. No, here we want them to be at the farm, and then 70% of their work to be at the farm. Only 30% theory. This is the new norm. This is the practice. This is what we intend to do. And that's why we took it there. And that's going to change. And to do that, whilst we are doing the construction, we've sent our people to Malawi, Lunge University, and also to Turkey for training at master's level. So some have started coming back with their master's degree. We're trying to now going to, in the coming weeks, now call them, and then we create an opportunity for internship so that they will now go to the farm, to some of these farms here, and do internship there for 3 months. And then before we recall them to come back, and then now send them back to the University of Education so that they will do some pedagogy. So specialized training for them. The reason of the training that we invested for them is we have the pool of experts who will be ready to do that. The other one is around the during the before the summer, God willing, we will lay the foundation stone for the Tibet Center in Tujareng on fisheries and aquaculture. Okay, in fisheries and aquaculture. So for the first time in the history of the Gambia. So we got the funding. We would have finished by now. It's just the consultant, the World Bank consultant, who is delaying us. He asked for extension until May, so that he will send us the fee because he has to do the design. That one they have already done it roughly. Now is the BOQ, and among other issues that they have to do, very comprehensive. So in May they will submit their final documents, and then from there now we will advertise and to get a contract and work to start. We have the funding already. We have the funding to build. We have the funding for furniture. We have the funding for equipment. So we have all these things ready. And then also we will be we're going to transform Demban. Currently it's a multi-purpose Tibet center, but the program that we are running there, with the electrical, whatever, we're going to move them to Kanilai, and then in our Tibet center in Kanilai. Then now, later we now transform Demban Tibet Center into a center of excellence on agribusiness. So these are some of the things that we intend to do. We also get the funding. We'll be doing animal husbandry there. Okay. So later you will come and you get some milk from us. So we'll be having also,
there's a lot happening, Prof, in higher education and vocational training. I'm not aware that all of these things are happening in the country. So that's why it's important, to face the media, to talk to the media about some of these issues, because a couple of years ago, things like this are not happening in the country. And they say, I'm not because you are here, but this is really something that you and your ministry should be proud of, because we have seen a lot of ministers come before you, and then we have seen what you are able to achieve within this short period. Prof, we are running out of time, but we still have some couple of questions for you. What are the biggest challenges? What are the biggest What are the biggest challenges facing higher education in Gambia today, such as access to funding or infrastructure, and how is your ministry tackling them to ensure equitable opportunity for all students? Because we receive reports that some of your sponsor students in Morocco, Russia, are protesting. They say, Prof, give us our money. We want our stipend. We don't want what happened in Senegal to happen. So what are you doing to help these students and the challenges you are facing in today's higher education?
Yeah, two things there, but let me start with that biggest constituency, that is the students population. I salute them, and they represent the best for this country. Wherever you are, in Morocco, in India, in Russia, and wherever, know that the Republic is proud of you. The Republic will never abandon you. Anybody sponsored by the Republic will stand for you. And anything that the Republic said that they will give you, you will receive that. And I can also assure them that whenever we receive something from Mohas, we will really do that. Just for them, let them be patient. All those who have our award letters and genuine Mohas, bona fide, awardees, starting from next week, the Accountant General will be receiving the request for payment, okay, to all of them. And the only thing now, we will be making follow-up with Accountant General Office to speed up the process so that they will get the payment. But we will really do that, based on what we have, based on what finance has given us. We cannot also give what we don't have. Finance will give us, allocate an amount, and then we distribute, and as per that. And that amount cannot be used for anything else apart from for that. So these are the issues. These are the ground FI rules. So just to assure them, we've, by the way, just for them to understand, the Mohans has to work this weekend. My staff, I had to plead with them to work this weekend. Yesterday, even in the afternoon, after working hours, they stayed to work and start processing that. And today, they also went to the office to do the work and so on and so forth. So that next, by Monday, Accountant General will start receiving the payments from the different countries and so on and so forth. So if you haven't received yours, just be patient. Know that it is coming. We've started the work since yesterday to pay the payment. However, we have to verify, cross-check the list to ensure that it is comprehensive, and then we come up with a formula that we pay everybody the same amount. So we don't want to pay this one this amount, the other one another one. So we need to now do our homework, and that's what we've agreed upon, and we are working on those things. So that one is, so those who are not under our list, really we cannot. Unfortunately, because it's not even enough for even those on the list. And so the other one now, the challenge is, as you said, and as the one we say, because the nerves issue is the funding. So this is one of the major challenges. The main budget cannot afford to sponsor, to address the higher education challenges, unfortunately. So we are invoking Plan B to engage our development partners. And that's why you saw us last time. We developed different proposals. And then we have a high-level breakfast meeting where we invited all our development partners and ambassadors here present, friends of the Gambia. So where we presented before them our different proposals. And the good thing is some of them have accepted. They are very impressed with what we have put forward, and then they agree to do something. For instance, you said we're having a uniport for them with UNDP currently, and then also the World Bank has agreed to now work with us for second phase of USEP. So that will be talking about computer engineering and all its ramification, the architecture and design and so on, and then also the petroleum and gas and among other issues. These are some of the programs. But also come up with new technical programs so that at undergrad level, BTech, BTech, with programs that we do not have in the Gambia. So these are some of the things that we are working on. And then also, as you have seen, we'll continue with our SIE fund, Skills, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Fund, SIE, Skills, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Fund. We have close to $500 million in. And that's what we'll be disbursing for the next 5 years. For the first time in the history of the Gambia, the ministry having such funds to give it to the youth. And with 3 windows. Window 1 to support the Tibet centers, and so window 2 is the stipend scholarships to those within the Tibet centers, and then window 3 is startups, the youths who are coming up with some projects and they want to start their own business, submitting proposals, then they will support them. Remember, these are different from the tripartite funds that we talked about earlier on the beginning. So these are additional funds. Money is there to be giving out. So next month, most likely, we will now disburse the second batch also of funds to different Tibet centers. Last time we did that, and we will be also doing that again by the end of the year. So these are some of the things that we are working on, and we want to really continue pushing, engaging development partners, and even where we go for loans and grants, people are struggling to come and work with us. I can tell you, even this year, development partners, I can tell you, IDB and others and Kuwaiti Fund, they all wanted to work with Mohan, but then the Ministry of Finance too is, putting, their feet on the brakes for the time being, because the speed that we are going, they said, okay, let's give space to other ministries, let me put it that without putting anybody on the spot.
Yeah, both.
so that, so that's why. So the
Yeah.
one that were marked maybe for our phase 4, for UTG for our Banta campus. So it's now for other ministries and so on. So, but then next year, most likely we'll come back again on our concept note proposal that we developed also for lot 4 for UTG, and maybe we might even have an addendum instead of having lot 4. We just have it as an addendum to lot 3, which is the School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences. Very soon you will see the adverts for the contracts and so on, for the consultancies for that School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, $37 million that will cater for a specialized building for medicine alone, the other one for nursing alone, the other one for public health alone, for pharmacy alone, for the biomedical sciences alone, and also a clinic, among others. So these are things that we intend to do, and the work will start this year, and then we will next year we will come up with another one. We, as part of our plan, we to also have a new school of graduate studies, also standing alone, and also a big auditorium that we don't have here in the Gambia, bigger than the conference center, OIC conference center, because the capacity of our hall that we are envisaging must be 2,000, close to 2,500 people. That's the capacity. So that's what we are looking for. That's Banjul to Koina. That will be the biggest auditorium in this country. And this is and you later see maybe it's likely to be one of the biggest in the sub-region. This is the Gambia for you. We think big, we dream big, because we want the Gambia to be a hub for academic tourism. We are not building for today. We are also building for tomorrow. We are not also building for the Gambia. We are building for the sub-region, like what UK and others are doing, where they use their universities, and like America, where international students come and pay 3 times more than the nationals. We are not saying we're going to charge our ECOWAS people 3 times more than they, but at least they will pay more than the Gambians. So that difference, we'll use that. Now the universities will use that to improve, so that we get more people and we train them in a peaceful Gambia, as opposed to other countries where there are lots of strike left, right, and center. For us, we use our peaceful environment, and also with the serene environment and the state-of-the-art campus and in the laboratory equipment that we have to deliver quality education. And then also we have people to come forward. And we will this year, God willing, will start the construction of the Faraba Banta campus dormitories. We will start the construction of the dormitories of Faraba Banta campus. God willing, maybe before this summer, God willing. But this year, you will lay the foundation stone. And right now, we are in a position
Prof.
Yes.
Okay. Prof, before I let you go, the university faced a backlash after naming the School of Agriculture after a foreign national. Prof, are you concerned about our academic institutions being named with people who are not Gambians? Because we have had, great Gambians like Sir Dawda Kairaba, E.F. Small, but we've seen that the School of Agriculture was named after a Nigerian who was the former president of the African Development Bank and also Nigeria's former agriculture minister. Are you not concerned about this naming a vital academic institution after foreigners when we have Gambians who are qualified to be named or honored with such names?
Yeah, but by the way, it is not a right for a Gambian to stand and expect his father, his grandpa to giving the name of our institutions, public institutions. is an honor that is given by the Republic to those people. Sadauda is the conference center is named after Sadauda. The Edward Francis Small, I'm a student of Small. Is the hospital in Banjul is named after Small. Even though, yes, if they had asked me well before doing that, I would have asked them to maybe name the university after him, after Small, for what he represented. You know, maybe another time, if you interrogate me, we can talk about Small. But very briefly, in 30 seconds, he was among the first freedom fighter for free press in this country. He was the first Gambian to enter the House of Representatives, called now the National Assembly, the first Gambian. He was the one who told the colonial masters no taxation without representation. He was the first among those who have the privileges to be organizing evening classes for the Gambians and so on, so that they can now read and write. He was a human rights defender, among others. So he was the one who left his comfort zone in battles in those days, going up to Balanga to help the farmers there, so that they will not be cheated by the merchants and so on. He would have been in a comfort area. His house in Allen Street, right roughly opposite the quadrangle end, that area. That's where he was. When he died, his house was not even conducive for the funeral to take place. They had to take him near the junction of Clarkson Street, Dobson Street. You know, by the way, that's my where I come from, where I was born, Dobson Street. But then he's at the junction there. That's where they organized the funeral and so on. Imagine, he died penniless. He died without wife, without children. You and I are small children. These are the children he would have loved to have. People who would stand for the Gambia and continue that struggle. Yes, if you ask me, I would have started the University of the Gambia. But then they've given him,
absolutely,
and so on. So now, for Dr. Adesina, universities are not necessarily something that is too nationalistic, that you must choose a Gambian to do that. We've named the library, the story building. When you come back, and I will take you around to the Faraba Banta campus, and then you visit the Dr. Badara Juf library. We name it after Badara Juf.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, so
which is great.
Now universities, universities know no nationality. They know excellence. You see, in a university, it's not about your nationality; it's about your what you can do. And even there, maybe people do not know. Dr. Adesina is the former president of the African Development Bank. During his time, the Gambia benefited a lot from his support.
Leadership.
Yes, his leadership. We got a lot of financial support from the African Development Bank, especially in agriculture. He did that, and also, you know, there's also they intervene also in the Senegambia Bridge in Farafenni.
Yeah.
But people don't know. But especially in agriculture, they did a lot for this country. Even higher education. Some of the renovation taking place in Julangel, in URR, is the African Development Bank that is doing that. And then they also plan, they will be buying equipment in for some of the Tibet centers in CRR. It's African Development Bank that is doing that. We are currently working with them on other projects also. So these are some of the issues, even for instance, the trying to see how they can do something for the hospital, the 1,500 hospital, beds that we're going to have it at Farato. So we want to link the School of Medicine with that with that hospital. So we want to invest there for some accommodation, so that our student medical doctors medical, students can stay there. Just they don't have to travel that much, but also to buy some laboratory equipment and some offices for the staff, so that when they come there, they will work without any problem, and so on and so forth, for their clinicals and so on. So these are some of the things that we are working on, and with also African Development Bank. So Dr. Adesina has done a lot for the Gambia, and he deserves that recognition. That's one. But also as Pan-Africanists, we are also, even if they haven't done anything for the Gambia and they did it for Africa, we are also, because the rules, also some of these things within academic circles, is somebody who has served humanity, who have done something good for, not necessarily for the Gambia. That's the rule. Like if you are to give an honorary doctorate degree, the rules say, doesn't say they must be Gambian. The person must have done something for the Gambia. The rules say, yes, if it is done, the person has done something for the Gambia is good. Like Dr. Adesina has done something for the Gambia. But even if they did not do anything for the Gambia, the rules allows you, at the moment, like for instance, Mandela, nothing stops us from naming one of our institutions to Madiba. Nelson Mandela, he stood for the African people and so on and so forth. Yes, but specifically for South Africa. But here, the rules say also it can be open to anybody. So, and remember, he's a former agricultural minister for Nigeria. And remember what history remembered him for during his time. The revolution he brought in that ministry when he was Minister of Agriculture. There now we send the signal for the African continent to use him as a model, so that they can learn from him and also do more. Whoever, the students who are into agriculture, you too, you can be another Dr. Adesina. You can rise and be able to do something for the Gambia, and also go out in the international scenes like him when he went to African Development Bank. Others can go to other banks, World Bank. Others can go to the UN and other places and perform very well to be world citizens. This is the message. So because people do not know more about Dr. Adesina and his significant contribution to the economy of this country. So, and it's not because when we have these things, people tend to think about their family, their relatives, and so on and so forth. What is important is let's work for the Gambia and not wait for recognition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Small work for the Gambia, for you and I to be in a free Gambia. But then look at it. The roundabout right opposite in Banjul, right opposite Gamtel House. That's the only monument that that is done for him. But nobody knows about that.
He deserve more than
his tomb is in Banjul, right opposite the National Assembly. But nobody knows about that. So, but then he did not ask for that that glory.
That's why Madi Jobate named his center after him, which is a great honor in his name, the Edward Francis Center for Right and Justice, honoring the legacy of E.F. Small, who you describe, as your mentor and your master in academics too.
Professor, video documentary on him. It's on YouTube. People can watch it whenever they have. Is Edward Francis?
I haven't seen that. You can share the documentary link with me, and then I will definitely find time to look through it. Prof, we are at the final end of this interview.
The Voice of Conscience.
Yeah,
that's the title. If you go to YouTube, you will see Edward Francis Small, The Voice of Conscience.
Edward Francis Small, The Voice of Consent. Prof, finally, not long ago, you announced plan to establish the Gambia's first ever Academy of Science before the end of the year. What will this academic focus on, and how will you it contribute to national development in areas like health, agriculture, and environmental sustainability?
Yeah, that one falls under one of the strategies and the policy pronouncement that we are working on. Very soon, you will see us now having a committee to review the policy before we finalize it, fine tune it with the NEPAD, the AU Development
Did you hear my
Agency,
question?
and then also the other international bodies, in STI. So we are developing, we've already come up with a draft, Science, Technology, and Innovation, STI policy. We're going to work on it, and then that will lead to a bill, also a bill that will help us to have an act on STI. So that will create a synergy when it comes to STI and in this country. There, and then also we will now have for the first time also, and even the act, the STI, but also the Academy of Science for the first time, a la Nigeria, a la South Africa, and other countries. So we are among the few who do not have that. This Academy of Science, it will be a pool of scientists who will be there their job is to promote science, is to promote knowledge, and then also to be coming up with research that will help to inform policymakers, and then also to help us encourage the promotion and development of science, but also for the emergence of new scientists in different areas. They will be also informing government in other areas that they should pay attention to and be able to address some of the gaps within the scientific area within government circles and academia in particular. So these are some of the things that they will be doing, but it will be composed of people who are really versed in this area in science, and they will be coming up with different activities. Their job primarily, put it simple, promotion and development of science in this country, but also to be advising policymakers and development agencies also on scientific developments, and also some of the new strategies that can be put in place for the strategic development of this country, and also for the cohesion and peaceful nature of this country. So this is what it will do, among other issues. But it will be composed. It means that later, once it is put in place, we'll now have academics, senior scientists, fellows who will be there as members, and they will be fellows to be doing that job.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Per Gomez. It's a very interesting conversation. We are almost at 1 hour, 30 minutes, and the show time is 1 hour. But when you have people like Prof, they have a lot in the back to share with our audience. So, Prof, we appreciate your time for joining us on the final take this Saturday. I know it's Lent, it's Ramadan, so right now, everyone in Banjul is trying to rush to eat something, but here you are with me discussing about the future of higher education in our country. So, Professor Per Gomez, my guest for today's show, many thanks for joining the final take with me today on the Alcamba Times.
Okay, thank you very much. I know very soon I'll be having my double. But talking to you, you've anticipated the double, and you've given me an academic double. And I want to really thank you for this opportunity, always having that positive vibration coming out, dealing with developmental issues, dealing with what will develop this country. You see, the Gambia will never develop if it is not anchored on education, the training of the youth so that we produce highly skilled citizenry. This is an opportunity, and on behalf of His Excellency President Adama Barrow and on behalf of the Gambian people, want to thank you yet again for sharing your platform with us so that we talk to our people, to our bosses, those who are paying our salaries, so that at the end of the month, I will be able to pay my bills. And we are duty bound whenever we are called to use this type of platform to talk to those who employed us, the Gambian people. And we hope that we've responded to the questions. And anytime our services are needed, we will say yes, because we are occupying a public office. Anything that has to do with higher education,
absolutely,
we are always ready. And I can promise the Gambian people, the energy yesterday is that same energy is here today, and I strongly believe that it will still be there whenever we continue occupying public office. We see it as another way of worshiping God. In Wolof, they say, this opportunity, the office, to accept to be used as tools for the manifestation of the glory of God. We must serve the Gambian people. We must give our best, so that at the end of the day, when we are no longer there, people to now do a comparative analysis. What was higher education before Professor Gomez, and what has he done after, during his time until he left? For Gambians to now do that comparative analysis and pass judgment. And we want history to remember us. We want to have that rendezvous with history. And that's why
history will be kind to you, Prof.
To continue pushing. And thank you very much, MK, and keep up the good work. We are very proud of you.
Absolutely.
And, many Gambians like me are very happy and wish you a blessed Ramadan. May God answer all your prayers, and you and your family, and all your friends also. And the Gambian people watching.
Thank you.
We thank you, and we
thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you very much for those watching. That's the final take with me, Seni Marina. Live in the studio is Professor Per Gomez, Minister of Higher Education, Science, Research, and Technology in the Gambia, talking to us live about development in his ministry. Prof, do have a wonderful Saturday, and enjoy the rest of the day. Many thanks once again.
Thank you.
Tune into the final take with MK Marina every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.